Hi everyone, it's the July Lioness and welcome to Choco Chat for Saturday, July 18th. How are ya? Oh boy, hot, huh? Yeah. Boy, here in the deep south, I think all week long it's been in the high 90s with a feels like over 100. Like I think yesterday the feels like was 103. I think, and it's just the humidity. I think that's very draining. My animals, my pets who usually enjoy going outside, especially the cats and the dog will hang out in their pen. Oh no, everybody's right inside today, siestaing through the heat, and I'll let them out after sunset, which is around 8 o'clock this time of year. And that's when I go to the store. So we all just sort of emerge at night. We're being vampires for this month, I guess. It is just crazy. You can't do anything outside. I feel bad for the people that do work outside, mowing lawns and stuff. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous job in this type of weather. Or, God, imagine people doing roofing, hot tar and the hot roof. Ew. Oh, it makes me count my blessings. Yeah, that I can just stay in and do my indoor at home stuff. Phew. So, looking at my notes here. Speaking of outdoor work, no, nothing new about the tree. The neighbors are there. I don't know if anybody ever called them or, nobody just, efficiency is a joke around here. La 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 la, get around to it someday if I don't forget. La 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 la. That's why I want to move away, get a summer house elsewhere. Rhode Island would be nice. So then I can have a little bit of, well, just a change of scenery for a few months. I mean, I don't want to give up this house completely. It would be nice if I could afford to have two residences, or even just go to Rhode Island, since it would only be for a couple of months, and stay at like a Residence Inn or something. That would be a lot easier. Go stay. There's probably one in Providence, or maybe there's probably a couple around. That's a thought, That might be doable. Of course, however you cut it, it's not going to be cheap. So we'll have to. I didn't win Publishers Clearinghouse next time, though. So next time, when I win, I forget when's the next one. Probably. When do they have them? That was June 30th. Maybe September or Halloween. I'm not sure when the next drawing is. But I'll get it, and then I can do some other stuff, and I can make this house way better, and then take off. Yeah, Residence Inn, I like that. I should go on a cruise, too. That'd be fun. So anyway, during one of these myriad super hot days when I was too drained to do much of anything, I found Fantasia on Netflix. They actually have two versions. They have the original version that was made, I think, in 1940, and then they have a new version made in 2000. I remember watching the one made in 2000, and I didn't really like it that much, so I watched the original, and it's just, it's a classic, and you understand why it's a classic. As I was watching all these gorgeous animated images with the, going along with the music, I was just thinking, wow, every single one of these animations is hand drawn. No computer graphics back in 1940, folks. What you see in Fantasia is a whole bunch of people working together as a team to come up with these beautiful cartoon cells, and each one is a hand-drawn masterpiece. So you think of these long segments of animation throughout Fantasia, and just imagine how many, I don't know, millions, maybe millions of hand-drawn cells had to be produced to create that effect of the motion. Boggles my mind. Wow. And just the way it all fits together. You know, of course, The Sorcerer's Apprentice is a classic with Mickey and all the brooms and everything. And I remember seeing, they must have had a 25th anniversary re-release, because I remember must have been really little, 5 or 6. I'm really pretty sure my family took us to see Fantasia in the movie theater, because I remember being pretty scared by Night on Bald Mountain with that's like the final sequence with the mountain, and the devil emerges, and he's got his little minions and all the little demons running around. That scared me. And the music's not very comforting either, of course. But then the final is Ave Maria, so it's the conflict between good and evil. The final number. So anyway, if you've got Netflix and you've got a couple hours to kill and you want to watch a classic, I recommend I recommend Fantasia, because there's really kind of something in it for everybody. Of course, I remember the scenes with Pegasus and his wife, and the little, really two cutesy unicorns. There was one of the songs had a mythological theme, and so they drew animation to go along with it, and they had Pegasus emerging with his wife. It's not really accurate, but supposedly a Greek mythological theme. And I took some liberties, I think. For one thing, I swear there are no unicorns in Greek mythology. As far as I know it, I think unicorns are English mythology, Welsh, maybe Arthurian legend, but I don't think unicorns ever got over to Greece. I don't think so. Not mythologically. I do not think they were part of Roman or Greek mythology. I sure don't remember it, and I've never been able to find a reference. And I'm a big unicorn fan, so I would know. So, but you know, artistic license. I guess people want to throw unicorns and winged horses in together all the time. Let's see what else. I think I mentioned this last week that my friend is having a birthday in a few days now, and I was going to make her a present and maybe make her use one of my booklets that I got from Dick Blick. Make a little spiral bound book for her. So I just finished it last night. And that's in the back. So when you open them up like this, you've got that. And on the inside, I'm not sure how easy this is to see. I did make a video of, a process video of how I made this. And there's the end papers. And I just finished up a little treat, because she's kind of into bird watching. So I made her a little charm. Let's see if you can see how to put this so you can see it. Of a wren that she could use as a bookmark for the journal, or she can just pull it off. A bookmark or a charm that she can pull off the spirals if she wants to. So I had fun. I just found a nice image of a wren online. I printed it out from Encyclopedia Britannica, actually, and it's very similar to this. Actually, I'm wondering if when the person created this rubber stamp, they just reversed that image and shrank it down and made it into a rubber stamp image. But this, yeah, this stamp is from Stampin' Up. It's in a kit there, and I have a special relationship with wrens. So we've got the little charm, and I put her initials. These are called thickers on here. And then the paper is just sketch paper. But I like the way the black coils match her initials, and I really think that the wren is really cute. I made it a little long, but she could shorten that if she wants to. You could almost carefully tuck it in there. Or she could even, if she wanted to really, she could take it off and she could just glue it onto the front too, actually. I just realized that looks cute there. But I really had a lot of fun making this. This gesso though, boy, gesso and the ink, it really soaks up ink. This was a lot darker. These are really little stars that I used. I had a stencil and I just stamped through the stencil with a dauber. But like I said, there's a video on how I made this. But I really like this. I think it's a nice little book. And if she doesn't like it, there's something wrong with her. So that was fun, and I'm glad I got it finished in time. So this will be ready for Monday's mail pickup, and her birthday I think is Wednesday, so hopefully she'll get it just in the nick of time. So now I just need to wrap it up and pack it up. Oh, that was fun. I've got to make some more. Yeah, so Stampin' Up, I'm getting back into that. Like I used a lot of things from there to make her book. The scrapbook paper I didn't though. That was from, I think I got that on Amazon. The Stampin' Up sells scrapbook paper. They sell more than you would think. You know, it's not just rubber stamps. They sell rubber stamps and rubber stamp supplies. They sell scrapbooking paper. They sell, you know, all kinds of things that you need for paper crafting. So the cardstock, the envelopes, the ink, markers. Oh, I bought a big package of all their markers. And I might make a video about their color system because it's interesting, but it might be kind of confusing to somebody who's new to Stamping Up. If they just get a catalog or they're looking at the online stores, it might be a little confusing. So I might make a video explaining that a little bit, but not immediately. It's in the future. So as I wait for the weather to cool off, I have upgraded from Sims 3 to Sims 4. I don't think Sims 4 is better. There's a lot of differences. It's much more streamlined. And I am sorry to lose some of the features that Sims 3 had, like the create a style. Oh, that was so nice to be able to put like pink and purple flowers all over almost any surface in the game. Like you could have your car, you could have a plaid car, Maybe even the sides of your house could be plaid. Didn't try that. So they had some really fun stuff, but it slows the game down so badly that it sucks the fun out of it. And another thing I didn't like was the Sims themselves all had kind of an attitude. Like if there was something blocking their path, they get real sarcastic. And they just start whining and moaning and fussing, and it's very, very annoying. It's rude. I don't know if the creators think that's funny, but I don't think I'm not at all amused by it. I mean, there's one woman who was doing that so much that I had the dog chase her, and then I kicked her out of the house because it made me so mad. Because there was something about the kitchen that she didn't like. I think one of the counters was in a somewhat unusual spot, and every time she went in the kitchen, I get and all that every single time. So I got sick of her. So it was kind of fun. I had the dog kind of didn't bite her, but he started. I had him snarl at her, and the command was chase her, chase Sim or whatever it was, and it was pretty funny. She looked at her pretty scared because it was just a little Sheltie, just a little dog, and she was a big fat woman. He chased her around the house, and she's screaming, and out into the yard, which was all snow, the snowy, very snowy yard. The snow is deeper than the dog is high. The snow's 4 feet, the dog's 2 feet high, but he's still running through the snow after this woman. That's what you get for when you sass me, woman. And then I kicked her out. I think the dog enjoyed it. The dog didn't seem too upset either. The dog didn't like her. Yeah, one thing I don't like about Sims 4 is there are no pets, but seeing how they were treated in Sims 3 is probably a good thing. But I'm having fun creating households. One household is, I'm going to make it, I'm in the middle of making a neighborhood based on, hopefully you remember this show, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Anybody remember that show? Anybody ever watch it? It was one I watched when I was very little. It came on the air in 1968, so I was 7. And so I really only remembered bits and pieces of it, but since then I've of course watched stuff on YouTube and anniversary specials, and so I remember it pretty well. And so it's funny, I remember I have my childhood memories of it, and now I have my adulthood memories of it, and it was a really racy show for even especially for 1968, but even now it's still a little racy. And some of it probably isn't politically correct at all nowadays, but it was kind of funny back then. So I started out, my first household for The Sims is the Farkle family. And I remember as a little girl, I think it's Sparkle who always says, "Hi!" Whenever, just out of the blue, they'll be talking, and Fanny will be talking to somebody, and then the camera will cut to Sparkle, and she'll say, "Hi!" It's just kind of silly, just silly. So I think people remember that. And I think that Ruth Buzzy played her. So, yeah, we're doing that one. Then we're also going to do Ferd Burful, because the joke with the Farkle family was all the kids had red hair and glasses, but Fanny and Frank did not have red hair and glasses. Who has red hair and glasses? Why, the next door neighbor, Ferd Burful. So played by Dick Martin. So I got to create a bird sim and put him into the neighborhood. I'm also going to have Gladys, Ruth Buzzy in a hairnet, and Tyrone, the old man. Their scene was sitting on a park bench, and he would try to sit close to her, and she kept scooching off and scooching off and scooching off, and there'd be various endings to that. But she'd usually hit him with her purse a few times. And she, usually she'd run away, but he'd be making some kind of snide, kind of a pickup line as he's trying to get close to her. So we'll have Gladys and Tyrone in that. Artie Johnson is Tyrone. I swear there was a Saturday morning cartoon back when Laugh-In, I guess it was in its last years or had already ended. Early 70s. I know there was a Saturday morning cartoon called Tyrone and Gladys, and they were a cartoon. And I remember thinking it was kind of stupid, but it was there, and I'd love to see it again. Maybe it was part of some other cartoon show, like the Scooby-Doo Mystery Hour or something like that. It wasn't a full half-hour show. It was just like a little segment inside of another, collection. But I can't find it right now. Hanna-Barbera. I wonder who produced it. I'll have to Google it. There's probably something on Wikipedia about it, and that'll be interesting to read about. So we've got the Farkles, Ferd Burful, Tyrone, Gladys, and I've got one more house on that same block, and I'm going to do two of Lily Tomlin's characters. We're going to do Edith Ann, and she's a little girl that would sit in a huge rocking chair, and she'd have grape jelly smeared on her mouth, and she'd say, "My name is Edith Ann," as she's rocking. "And I don't have to say nothing if I don't want to." And then she'd talk about something, and she'd end it with, "And that's the truth." So you might remember her. Lily Tomlin had a lot of good characters there. Also, Ernestine, the telephone operator. Hello, Mr. Beadle. Is this the party to whom I am speaking? So that was pretty good, Ernestine. And then there was this very proper lady who would tell you something about etiquette, and then when she'd get up, she'd splay her legs and get up leaning on her knees. And her name, I think, is Mrs. Earborn. So I'm thinking of putting, since I think she'd be easier to reproduce in a Sims than Ernestine would, I think I'm going to put Mrs. Earborn and Edith Ann in the same household, so they'll live together. And then Gladys will have her own place, Tyrone will have his own place, Ferd will have his own place, and then the Farkles are already crammed into their own house. And it's interesting trying to get these Sims to look like actual people. I went through YouTube and found an episode of Laugh-In, and as you can see, I took screenshots. This is, Tyrone and Gladys on the bench. It's very blurry, but to try to get them to look like, to use the Sims software to try and get them to look convincing is interesting, because it's this very blurry picture. So, and I don't know, I'm never going to get her hairnet, but I will try and get a reasonable facsimile. So I did that. Tyrone and Gladys, I need to make them. I made the Farkle family. So there's the Farkle family. Those are the kids. See, they've all got red hair and glasses. Okay. And here's Frank and Fanny Farkle, Joanne Worley and Dan Rowan. And where's Ferd? Okay, here. Here's Bird Burple. Isn't that interesting that Bird Burple has maybe 5 kids by Fanny? Oh, shocking. And nobody seems to notice. And here's Edith Ann. And I don't have a picture of Mrs. Earborn, but I think I can wing that one. But it's tricky getting the facial features just right. Like Joanne Worley has kind of a, she's a big lady. She has kind of a wide nose, a very square face, and I couldn't quite get it. She's very kind of a thin version of Joanne Worley. And of course, the hairstyle was, I could not duplicate. It's this, the way she's got the kerchief wrapped around her hair and then draped down her neck. There wasn't anything like that in The Sims, in Create a Sim. They don't have a lot of hairstyles with bangs. So I did the best I could with what I had. And so how she's got a very square face, and maybe it's just because she's making a face, or maybe this is distorted, but I didn't have much luck with that. But she in a certain light, she looks like her. Now, I did pretty well with Frank. They actually have the bow tie and a jacket and a hat that are almost exact to this, but they didn't have it in the brown. They had black. This actually looks kind of purple, but yeah, it's very yellowed. It's because the show was so old, but and these are just screenshots. But also with the kids, they didn't have braids, but the girls they all have ponytails. And yes, who's this? What's her name? Chelsea? I think that's Chelsea. So here's Simon and Gar Farkle and Mark Farkle, Sparkle Farkle, which is Goldie, and Ruth Buzzy is Flicker Farkle. So I'm having fun. I'm getting all these ideas. You can also make aliens in this one. So I'm thinking of making an alien neighborhood in different games. Oh, it's fun. So let's see. I guess that's everything. We've got yeah. I did a Let's Play with the Farkle family and uploaded that yesterday. So if you want to see the Farkle family in action, it's on July Line is Fun and Games. I will tell you that I've got a lot of games on my C drive and there's a lot of lag. I have an external hard drive. I need to figure out how to move all these games onto the external hard drive because it's got a ton of room. But when you get these games, they automatically download them onto your C drive. So, but I think once it'll run a lot better, and I'll get better recordings once I get it moved over and I've got more room. Because right now I've got the frame rate really low, like 15, and really the higher the frame rate you can get, the better. So if you've got a really low frame rate when you're recording a video, it's going to look more and more less like a movie and more like a slideshow. So in order to kind of reduce that, to avoid crashing completely, I have to keep my frame rate low and I stop and start. So when you watch that video, that's why there's a bit of stopping and starting. It's just to keep the computer, to prevent the computer from locking up and dying and not recording the game. So I'm having some technical issues. So I need to find out how on earth to move my game. So So anyway, yeah, this has been the July Lioness, and thanks for joining me on yet another hot summer day. Keep cool. Enjoy yourselves. Watch some Fantasia under the air conditioner. And have a good week. Bye, guys.